What's happening, everybody? Rod J back again and check out another beer. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. I'm going to take a look at one today from out of Frederick, Maryland. This is from Flying Dog, and it is their Pearl Necklace Chesapeake Stout. This is an oyster stout coming in at 5.5% ABV, 35 IBU. And yes, I did say an oyster stout. The description on this one says brewed with Rappahannock River oysters. It's a dark, roasted, dry, and slightly bitter stout. And with this one, they actually work along with the Oyster Recovery Partnership. So for every bottle of Pearl Necklace sold, the Oyster Recovery Partnership plants 10 oysters in the Chesapeake Bay. So pretty cool that they actually put stuff back out there to replenish from where they have taken some of the oysters. But there again, you can see the label, that iconic, I guess you can say, artwork of Flying Dog that people are accustomed to right there. So let's go ahead and get it open and get it into a glass and check it out. Gotta tell you, it's I'm a little worried about this one. Tasting like oysters is interesting. Well, it's got a very nice stout look for sure. When you take a look at that there. Nice, dark, pretty much jet black color. The head itself, pretty much a tan beige head. And mostly compacted with a lot of the tiny bubbles, not too much of the medium or large. But it has a nice foaminess on it. Easily came out to be a two-finger head in that regard. The aroma, well, I'm getting the malts. I'm actually getting still that sense of the chocolates and slight bit of that coffee. Smells like your regular malt. It's got a little bit of a slight funkiness, which is probably the seafood aspect of the oyster. But for the most part, it just smells like your standard malt in that regard. As far as the taste, not too bad on the taste. It comes across as being a nice medium body. You have the slight bitterness they mentioned. You do feel that really in the tip of the tongue, and you feel some harshness on the back on the finish. I do pick up that taste of the oyster, but it's not really too bad as being off-putting or anything. It's kind of it's just there. It is thin on the body though, on the texture. So I do have a little bit of wateriness in that regard. Carbonation, definitely lively as I try to hold that burp down. It's got a okay mouthfeel that is actually working around nicely. Starting to feel it get up into the cheek area after a point. Interesting to see how this actually goes as it warms up. The head has actually fully dissipated there now for the most part, but it did leave some lacing there, as you can see as well. I will say, going back to that aroma, it did come out of the glass rather easily, so you didn't have to sniff too hard. And like I said, you got really the malt sense is what you picked up from the smell. And even now, still pretty much some of the maltiness is kind of leading the way, but you do pick up a slight tinge of that kind of oyster type aroma. And if you haven't had oysters before, it's going to probably seem like to be a little bit of a, like I said, like a little bit of a funkiness earlier. It's kind of weird. I grew up in New Jersey, so we would go down to the shore, so I'm used to the smell of oysters, so I kind of know what that is. But for people that don't have oysters, it may just be kind of something you're not used to smelling. But that little bit of what may be a funkiness is really that oyster. I think all in all, it's an okay stout. I like my stouts, like if you've seen some of the other videos, a little more sturdier. It does have a little too much thinness for me on this one, but taste-wise, it's not too bad. I kind of saw that label and saw the information around it. That kind of got me to buy this one just because I wanted to check it out. I have not had an oyster one before, so Flying Dog usually does some pretty good beers, and figure why not just see what this has to offer. But it does have a little bit of a bite to it for sure. They talk about that slightly bitter thing in there, so you will have that bitterness. If you're not a bitter fan, that'll kind of turn you off a little bit. They talk about it being dry. It does have some dryness in there, but it also has that thinness in there too. Not where it gets really as much it gets a little bit of watery, but not really too watery. But you do have that sense of a dryness too in the texture. I'm getting some of that roasted that you expect to get, some of that toastiness you expect to get from a stout, but it's not overly as great in this one as you would expect it to be compared to other stouts. Something like this would actually, as I'm thinking here, if it had a little bit more of a, and it sounds weird, like a spice kick, I think it would actually work a little bit better on this one. It kind of has something still a little off on that with the oyster stout, but that's just me. But again, this is the pearl necklace, and if you've had this before, let me know. Put some comments in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it. But all in all, it's about your average type stout, maybe. Like I said, it's more of a, to me it feels like more of a porter because of the thinness, but you know, you do have some thin stouts out there. I'd say not bad, not too bad. Give it a shot. But thanks again for swinging by to check out another video. I look forward to hopefully catching you in the next one. If you like what you saw, please remember to hit that like button, of course, and keep drinking good craft beers. Cheers.